Hello and welcome back to another episode of SuperCoach Insider. My name is Ben.
And I'm Chris.
And thank you for having us for our belated session for SuperCoach Insider this week.
True.
Chris has been away.
A lot lately, so I do apologise.
Playing
again.
a bit of hide and seek.
Honestly, it's just the new job roles has got me travelling a bit.
That's what he tells his fiancée, the new job role.
Yeah, I do. And she understands. She's supportive, unlike you. He's like, pressure.
Excuse me,
pressure.
no pressure. I'm throwing you a bone this week, Chris. I want to get Zorko.
That's true.
That is true.
We actually just did a trade for in draft.
Yes, I'm desperate.
So
we'll
do you
get
wanna
into that.
explain that a little
We'll
bit?
get into that.
Alright,
we'll start
cool.
with the socials. So for those who are already with us on all of our socials, hashtag bless you and thank you for the love. If you're not, please find us, facebook.com/SC Insider.
Yep.
And Twitter, our handle is SC_Insider_. Find us there. So for those, we have a few already on Twitch. So twitch.tv/SC_Insider.
Yep.
And all of the major audio platforms. So we had a big milestone last week.
We did.
After we recorded, we actually worked out that with all of the Twitch and Twitter, so Twitch and YouTube and SoundCloud and all the audio platforms, we had over 10,000 listens last month. So that's just absolutely mind-boggling for me. So I think it's just absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty chuffed last week, actually. Yeah, over 1,000. No, it was over
10,000.
Over 10,000.
We worked out with everything.
That was insane.
Yeah,
So,
and that was not even including all of the listens we would have had on the final day of the month. But
and it's not including Twitch either. Oh no, it wasn't.
No, I
including
just
Twitch.
went 10. Yeah,
Yep,
Chris.
that's right. Sorry,
I know you're doing stuff here, mate, but come on, switch on, right?
I'm just getting into it.
Switch on. Seriously, you're so distracted like Bolton looking for a new job.
That's pretty much what I think he'll walk in any job anyway.
Yes.
But let's start with how your week went, mate, because discussing your week's way better than discussing my week. But
yes.
before we slightly do, our sponsors for this evening,
We're going for a mixed bag.
we are going for a little bit of a mixed bag.
I was actually going to buy some beers, except I am broke. So,
Your honesty is
well-
refreshing.
well, I had unpaid placement for 4 weeks,
That's fine.
and
It's
then
fine. It's all
the
good.
job that I have, you have to work 2 weeks, and then you get paid a week after that. So literally, I am waiting until not next Friday, the Friday after, until I actually have any money. So.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm pretty broke too, because we've started planning our wedding and we've worked out that we're pretty broke.
So you are a broken man, so to speak.
We've already picked a date. It's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. So,
Right. So the best thing
just
is,
don't plan anything on the 1st of February next year.
best
Right?
thing is we have not looked at team reveal yet.
No.
A couple of people on Twitch loved our reactions, or my reaction, because Chris buggered off, to team reveal. When everything went absolutely pear-shaped, I lost it
But
before I went to
that,
air.
let's go to
I'm
your
going
teams.
to my
Let's
team.
go
I've
to
got
your
my team
teams.
up, Chris.
Okay.
I've got my team
Okay.
up. I'm just letting people know we haven't looked yet.
Okay.
Calming the anticipation. Okay, so I scored 2,393 this week.
2000 what? 300.
2393.
That's massive.
So I jumped up. I won 9 out of 10 leagues. I am now ranked 866. So I've jumped up another 422 places. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about my side. I'm trying to have a look at what changes I actually made. Oh, that's right. I brought in Whitfield. I actually made the fairly good decision in... I was going to go down from Scrimshaw, and I was going to try and upgrade someone else to get Whitfield in. In the end, I just traded Hoare out because he was rumoured to be missing, and I thought, look, Hoare's already made quite a bit of cash. I can get there in one trade, so I did that one trade. Unfortunately, Whitfield is now out, which is the biggest dilemma for most people facing so far this year. But as far as my team went, I vice-captain Josh Kelly. I'm not upset. Yes, some people went gone, and good on you, but I lost 20 points. Whoop-de-doo. The thing that did hurt me...
I too vice-captained Jelly, so...
Oh, ouch.
No, Josh Kelly, it was good. No, I wasn't out. It was 20 points, like whatever. I was always
Yeah,
gonna take
exactly.
it.
Yeah, not so much. So, but yeah, I was happy I had to field Ainsworth, and that worked out okay. And yeah, like it wasn't actually too bad for me this week. It was a few people didn't like. I had Parker still, who got a 45, which still hurts, but I'm kind of holding him just for next week.
Yep.
And Dusty Moore obviously sputtered up with another 68, so he can basically get out of my side ASAP.
Ben, do you know what this week is?
Is the week where you apologise for Westhoff.
That is true. But before we get to the apology,
Okay.
this is the week that I turned my season around. All right. I've had about 6 weeks of terrible scoring, and I'm about to smash the shit out of this competition
Chris, you
and
scored.
crawl my way back.
Chris, can you tell everyone? Can you tell everyone what you scored?
slightly.
Can you tell everyone what you scored and how you still slid in places?
I scored 22-16, which I thought was really good considering the carnage that was last week. and I still went down. I was ranked 22,000th, and I still went down to 23,760. I know people that scored 2,100 and like went back 100 places from the top 100. Like I was so angry.
You know what the funny thing is? Life is about subtleties.
I don't have subtlety.
No, but the difference was our teams were fairly similar at the start of the year, right? Except, do you know the main differences though?
Dunkley versus Gray.
Dunkley and Gray, and
You didn't trade out Hoare.
Well, that and you had Matt Crouch and I had 5.
That's literally it. Yeah.
That is the subtleties, and there's a couple of little changes, but it was fairly similar.
No, I don't think that was. Well, you don't. That is a definite switch, but I actually in my decision, in my head, it was Lockie Neal versus Fife, not Crouch wasn't ever in the conversation. Crouch never actually left my team.
Well, mine was Oliver or Crouch, and I went Oliver, which hadn't really worked out that well, but it's better than Matt Crouch. So anyway,
I've had 2 premiums on the sidelines with Zach Williams and Matt Crouch. So that's unfortunately held me back in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I had Matt Crouch.
But my rookies have been performing okay. Like I traded in Baker, even though I didn't really want to. He scored me a 669. So I was happy with that. And my other trade-in was Jeremy Cameron. So
it's a bit ironic for Baker to get you a meal for 2.
Classic Baker. But I traded in Cameron, who was really good for me as well. So look, my trade-ins haven't been, again, my trade-in targets have not been terrible. I'm just behind, and now injuries and it's well. So I have heard. So just a preface to this, I did hear that Crouch is back, and I heard that about an hour ago. So
and I heard he came out saying that he will play. Right. So shall we get into the team reveals?
We'll get into the teams. Right. And I'll let you go with the first one.
Let me look.
You read Richmond and I'll read Geelong.
All right, Richmond. This could be interesting.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the outs first. Ellis out, which I kind of heard about already.
Yep.
Asprey, Broad, and Bolton. Nothing really surprising there. Rioli, Graham, Townsend, and Naish. Naish makes his debut, which is huge. I hope he can hold his spot. That could be... Huh?
No one really cares that he's playing.
I care.
Him playing means nothing. You're not going to trade him in.
Not yet.
He's going to be on the bubble in round 15.
Yeah. Still, I'd take any. I would take any options of someone that might actually play some games. Anyway, go ahead, Chris.
On the Geelong side of things, we've got out James Parsons and Zach Smith, both omitted, and in comes Gaz and Reece Stanley.
I think that makes sense. Some people
very easy.
Well, some people suggested that Atkins would go instead of Parsons, but I didn't think that would be the case.
Fair
Atkins
enough.
is good for his pressure. All right, let's moving on.
Now, just a quick one on the side of Geelong. How good has Jordan Clark been the last few weeks? He's actually playing a swing role, playing in a forward pocket, and then getting down
on
to
the wing and
pocket.
stuff, and then the back. He
plays basically half a game in each spot, kicking a goal a game.
He has really lifted, and he's about to hit 300k, which really annoys
me.
It annoys me.
Fantastic.
It annoys me because I butchered him at like 250k. I was like, get out of my team.
Well, I actually need. So this is the last week he'll be in my side. He's got the bye next week.
Yep.
So I need him to just have a decent score. Nothing too crazy, so I'm forced to hold him. But something that's nice enough to give him a little bit of prop up in cash so I can do the trades that I've allocated for next week. So I need about 20 more K between 2 trades. So one going down and one going up. So I need probably 10K from him and 10K loss from the other one. And I'll be sweet. So I'll be really looking forward to that.
Okay, moving on to the Carlton game. Ins and outs?
Yep, ins and outs.
Okay, so in Dale Thomas, Simpson, O'Brien, and McGovern are in. So pretty good lineup there. For Solo omitted. Jeez.
Well, after what, four disposals in the...
Darcy Lang injured again.
Yep.
So that's Liam Stocker is injured.
That's going to hurt some people.
Liam Stocker's injured, so that's going to hurt for his bye coverage. And Kennedy is omitted, which I think makes sense.
Because he's a dud. Yeah, makes sense.
Allison back for the Lions, though, which I think is awesome.
So Jacob Allison in for the Lions, and Ben Keys omitted again. He's never going to be a AFL great player, mate.
What a disappointment.
Sorry, mate. Cut your losses. Get rid of him. Trade him for some steak knives. The disappointing thing there, of course, is Mitchell Hinge isn't named. So for those hoping that Hinge would come in, he is not lining up this week.
At least,
is he an emergency?
At least Answorth keeps his spot, which is good. So
he's not even named an emergency. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. The emergencies are Ben Keys, Alan Christensen, Josh Walker, and Oscar McInerney. How can Walker not get in that side? With the form that he's been in, but he's been playing brilliantly this year.
But we already have enough good tools that are marketable.
I understand that, but still.
He's great cover, though. And that's the one thing that Lions have got is great cover. I mean, Christensen's not there. Keys obviously speaks for himself.
Jesus.
Do you reckon they just, instead of do the opposite Keys and say, well, don't give him the keys to the state. You just pay for him to move.
Just catch you on.
Catch you later.
I'll give you the keys to this car that's going to be driving you back down south.
with 3 full tanks of fuel.
Yeah, exactly right. And a gift voucher.
See how far it gets you.
Now, one thing I do want to take notice of. So with this Carlton team, it's going to be unique. Obviously, we've got David Teague coaching his first game, and Brendan Bolton, who, by the way, was all class in his exit interview. Basically.
I thought he was great.
Oh, mate. Tell you what, if I would love to have him at any club. Seriously, if he's at the Pies, I'd be like, yep.
I was so hoping he'd come to the Lions, except Fagan said, I'm sure they've had a great friendship, and he even coached him in Tasmania. But he said that there's no at this point in time, there's no vacancies at the Lions.
Yeah, well, he'd have to fire someone to
he
get him
would.
in. Yeah,
It just might happen.
Their coaching group's going really well.
Exactly.
But I like to look at the lineup just to see if there's going to be any notable changes. And look, you can't rely on this 100%. But you would think David T coming in is going to make a statement. First statement is that obviously, so Sam Walsh and Zach Fisher are lining up on the ball with Matty Cruiser and Paddy Cripps. So they've got their outside ball winner or outside inside in Sam Walsh, your inside beast in Paddy Cripps, and Zach Fisher there as well, who's, if he could clean up his ball use, is possibly one of their best clearance players, because he can get the ball to clearance, but he turns it over too much. So they just need to keep playing him, I think, and get him a bit more experience.
I think the interesting thing is Setterfield's on the wing.
Yep.
Which I think is interesting, and Ed Kernow's in the forward pocket.
Makes sense. So,
although we did pick at the start of the year, I'm like, Ed Kernow, I did not rate him. I know last year he had a great year, but I was like, surely he would be...
He's been serviceable as that sort of lockdown forward.
Yeah, he tagged last week too.
Yeah.
So it's, I still don't trust him as an option. But that's just me. But I think that's great for Setterfield anyway, being on the wing. Hopefully he actually starts to get a bit of a better role and actually start to play some football.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really else in terms of amazing wholesale changes there on the list. I would have liked to have probably seen Michael Gibbons a little bit more towards the ball. There was a rumor that we're going out saying Matthew Owies or I'm not sure how you pronounce that surname.
That would have been horrible.
Was going to debut, which he's a small forward, and I thought that would have pushed Gibbons more to a winger on the ball, which is I think where his natural position is anyway.
Yeah, Gibbons is forward flank at this point, which is pretty good for him.
We'll see what his role changes like. Now on to Gold Coast and North.
Yes.
Yep.
Harbrow in, Miller in, and Brody in. So pretty good there. Holland Smith is omitted. Bowes is injured, and Schoenfield is injured. So there's a few interesting ones there. Nothing really relevant though, Chris.
Harbrow back is great for me. I've got him in about 4 draft teams, so I was really sucking there.
Yeah. So I think the key thing to note is that Burgess is playing that defensive role.
Yep. As he should be.
Still not scoring great, but probably better than he's scoring as a forward.
Well, I think based on matchups and height, you'd probably say that Homsch gets Ben Brown and Burgess gets Mason Wood, but we'll see how that actually plays out logistically. Well,
that's how they're listed, though.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So, Homsch on Wood. Yeah.
Or maybe even Ballard. Ballard is a lot taller, and Zerha is that sort of big-bodied, hard at it sort of forward. So, Burgess is an experienced defender, big-bodied defender himself. So, maybe that matchup is more his style, but I can't see him playing on Ben Brown. He's not tall enough.
I think Lockie Weller's actually been quite impressive too, just quietly.
Yeah, he has. He's been all right. I mean,
he's averaging like 89.5. He's getting close.
Yeah, he's been okay. He's still probably 1 or 2 years off really exploding.
Maybe, at least 1 or so.
Yeah.
He's averaging more than Witherden.
You wouldn't pick him in a starting lineup because he's probably going to be at that awkward price next year.
Remember Bomps had him top 10, remember? Top 10. He's close to being top 10, Chris.
Close.
There's in a couple... I can't see him going 130 in a game, though.
Yeah. I mean, we won't touch base much on trade-in targets like Ben Cunnington right now, but we will later.
Nah, stuff Ben Cunnington.
On the north side of things, they've got in Sam Durden and out Jay McMillan. So that does hurt one of my draft sides.
The problem is you can't really bring in any of these premiums from North and Carlton because you don't really know the role they're playing just yet. Like Zeeble, you've had a small smidge. However,
I think that with someone like Cunnington, you can pretty much bank that
they're not going to play him in the forward pocket.
No other. He's got a one wood and that's it. Yeah, he doesn't have any other skills.
That's it.
So I think you're screwed if you're not playing him in the middle. Now on to Adelaide and Giants.
It's like Cripps' disposal options. Long kick down the line.
And that's exactly what it is.
Okay, this situation calls for, let me see what I've got. A long kick down the line.
I'm just going to pull this other one out of my pocket. And it's another long kick down the line.
Quick, I'm being pressured. What's my option? A long kick from behind, like down the line.
So good.
That's all he's got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to call that also the Tom Langdon.
Yes.
It's very similar.
It's durable for all options.
Very small, of course.
What can
I
you-
see the Statue of Liberty already.
What can you bring to the team? Well, I've got one move that I do well.
They call it a shake and bake.
Yeah.
Is that where you literally just kick the ball down the line?
What was it?
Yes.
40-year-old version. Yeah, he's got the one move. He's just doing the dice.
Yes.
She's got one move. Just doing the dice. All right,
So
man.
good.
Okay, so let's move on.
Adelaide versus Giants. So do you want to go with the Adelaide?
Yes, big news here is that Riley O'Brien keeps his spot.
Wow.
The Rob. So Source Jacobs needs another run in the second. Hardigan, Crouch, and Douglas are in, which is huge for Matty Crouch owners, and that's been my draft team as well, who's losing my third round pick. But Bryce Gibbs omitted again. McKay and Greenwood are also omitted,
Which is crazy, by the way. Because
no, Gibbs and Greenwood.
Well, no, Greenwood's been playing really well, so
know,
it's
catch
just
you later.
really matchups. Impressive there that Sloan has not been dropped, so Sloan's still lining up there.
Yes, so that could be a late. They're giving him every option.
Yeah, so you'd say that, look, with their first emergency there is Hugh Greenwood.
And
But,
Jacobs is emergency.
yeah, well, you never know what could happen. So I'd say that if he does ball laid out, I'd say Hugh Greenwood gets that first crack as that ball-winning mid, but we'll have to see what happens there. Also, on the Giant side of things, Zach Williams in, thank God.
Yes!
Thank bloody God.
Oh, so happy.
Oh, that makes me feel good. Sam Taylor as well in and omitted Lockie Keefe and Lockie Whitfield, of course, injured.
Yeah, that
so
sucks.
surprising, Isaac Cumming held his spot and still no love for Jackson Haley.
No, still no love for Haitley.
Cannot believe it.
Although it does make sense with Cumming, though, because Whitfield out, Williams in, he keeps his spot.
Yeah, I can see that. I just think
Cumming's been literally banging down the door as well as Haitley, except they have more of a need for Cumming at this time. I mean, literally, he's been rubbing the coach the right way and waiting for his due time, and the time is coming.
Okay.
What?
No, well done. No,
Do you like it
enjoy
or do you hate
I
me?
always like it. You know what I'm
Do
saying?
you like it or hate me?
All right, moving on. Sydney versus the Eagles. So let's go through.
Chris, who do you think that De Boer tags this week?
Oh, Sloan. I think he start. Well, if Sloan plays, it's Sloan.
But Sloane's on half a leg.
Doesn't matter.
I reckon you'll ignore him.
Sloan could be on half a leg with a broken arm, and he would still be their best midfielder.
I reckon they ignore him.
Well, then they go to Brad Crouch
Nah.
because Matt Crouch is on half a leg.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to tag out Matt Crouch.
No, I reckon they're going to do a defensive role.
Oh, Led?
Or Smitty, depending on how they go. I
I
reckon they'll try and chop their legs off from the back line.
Maybe. It's not unlike him to go to someone that's a bit unconventional, but
I think
if Sloan plays, it's Sloan. It's as simple. He's in that good a form, and I know that he's like slightly injured, but you don't just be like, you're slightly injured, so we'll just leave you
No,
go.
as in
Don't do that.
I'd let him go to start with, and then you see how he goes in the first quarter and a half.
100%.
And then if he looks like he's actually starting
Yeah.
to kill it, then you go, hey, guess what? Now you're on Sloan, and now you shut him down.
No, you don't take the risk. Don't let them in the game.
Have you seen how many times they've switched tags though during a game? He mixes up so hard.
But only if someone else gets off the chain. And you can't let Rory Sloan get off the chain because by the time that you clamp down on him, you're screwed.
Yeah, okay.
So
Well, what if he clamps half time and then goes and moves on? It'll be interesting.
If
but
there's 6 goals up, it doesn't matter.
Either way, I think it's the fact that it could go either way. It's
not
hard
going
to.
Matt Crouch.
Would you bring? Yeah, but would you? We'll get into this anyway. Sideways trade Laird, Whitfield to Laird though.
Ooh, I wouldn't do it either. But I'm not a fan of Laird this year.
No.
I mean, you can get Laird in another 4 weeks because he's not going up or down in price. You know, he's been very consistent, but there's no benefit to trading in Laird this week. What's the benefit?
He plays 2 rounds.
Yeah, but so does a few other midfielders. Defenders.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
We'll get into that.
There's other people that you can trade in that.
It is a conundrum.
It is a conundrum, but we're going Sydney versus West Coast Eagles, and on the Sydney side of things, my friend,
Oh, is this a Sunday game?
it is a Sunday game. So
Hang on. Please do not be in the extended bench. Extended bench. Motherfucker.
Could you just read out the teams, please? The people at home.
Yes, Chris,
need to
but
know.
I need to know if Rotham's playing, Chris.
It doesn't.
Okay, Darcy Cameron is in, Thurlow in, Rose in, Rowbottom in, and Stoddart.
Stoddart.
Robbie Fox is injured.
Is
Chris,
Stoddart playing? Oh,
No,
yeah,
well, he's probably on the extended list, but
Okay.
I'm reading it as it's listed, Chris. So now you go.
Fair enough.
This is how it works.
And on the West Coast side of things, Hickey in, Jackson Nelson in, Josh Rotham in, Jared Cameron in, Brendan Archie and Josh Smith. And out is Hearn and Oscar Allen. So based on that, you'd probably say that Hickey and Nelson will probably be the ins. Unless are they both on the extended bench? It looks to me like Rotham is the first emergency, based on how the extended bench looks. However, they're both there, so we don't know until tomorrow night anyway. So my advice is not to do any trade. No. However, having said that, if you don't have Rotham, I wouldn't be trading him in anyway. I wouldn't be trading him in on one game. What's the point of that?
Free up cash and have a cover for this week. If he gives you your 18th player and you can then free up 180k to move on.
Potentially, but there's other options. It depends on what you're looking. If you're literally looking to trade him in for one game, great. That's what you. But he'll be straight back out at the other side of the bye because it looks like Shanahan's only going to be out for this game and the bye, and then he'll be back the round after. So it might have. It feels like it's even a planned rest, to be honest. It feels like it's a plan. I know it was tight. Yeah. But it feels like a planned rest. They're like, just take the week off,
We're doing
mate.
well. The bye's coming up. Yeah. We're playing Sydney.
Yeah, in Sydney. Yeah, don't worry about the flight, mate.
Yeah.
You're good to stay at home. Anyway, obviously the biggest game of the round is the Queen's Birthday Clash, or the big freeze at the G. So we got the Pies and Melbourne. I'm going to take the Pies in because that's what I do. So Sire, Cox, Quaynor, Dacos and Crocker are the ins, with the only confirmed out being Dane Beams, which means 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's probably just Cypher and Beams is probably the likely in. Having said that, Dacos has been absolutely tearing it up in the twos. I think last week he had 36 and 2.
Jesus.
36 disposals, 2 goals. So he could be. He's been building up with form. The reason Sire hasn't been in the team is mainly through injury. He did have a really great game last week. So I can imagine that being a change, considering that they probably prefer him to Dacos. But I just wouldn't rule out Dacos being that person either just at this point. And let's just have a look. Yeah, they're all on the extended.
Yeah, they're on the
bench.
extended. So Neil Bullen, Bruce, Salem, Lever, Hoare, and May are in with Kennedy Harris omitted and Oscar McDonald omitted. Finally, Oscar McDonald gets booted, and it just took Hoare and May to come into the side.
Well, Hoare's listed on field, so that's good for anyone looking at keeping Hoare.
And May?
May's also on
field. Yeah. Yep. So they'll be they're
so
good.
So those are your two ins. And then we've got on the extended bench Jake. Oh, so is Jake Lever coming back, or is it?
That's a pretty good defensive line.
Yeah, so Lever's come in as well.
Yeah, Lever's on the back pocket. Lever, May, Hoare, Harms, Frost, and Fritsch.
Okay, well that's good. They've finally got a decent Sam Frost though, man. He can make some clangers, I tell you what.
Well, yeah, they've put him up the ground so people can cover his ass.
Interesting. Now we've got some Twitch people having a chat with us, so thanks very much, guys.
Jeez.
Dean BHK69 says just traded in Whitfield last week. Do I hold him through his injury?
No.
I think the big answer.
That is the big question. Chris, I actually put out a little poll today.
He put a lot. Was it combined with an email or?
No, it wasn't a poll with a flag on it. It was an actual poll. How's this though? Facebook only lets you put 2 options on a poll, whereas Twitter I could put 4. Either that or I'm stupid.
Yeah, I think you're probably stupid.
Could be one of the two. Anyway, so pretty much I put out a bit of a feeler saying what are people having struggle? What are their biggest problems coming into this round? Is it the fact that they're, the structure, or they're trying to free up cash, or is it the fact that they have, or is it premiums that are the big issue? So injured premiums or who to go early on, that kind of thing. And funnily enough, most people seem pretty happy with their structure. A few people would how do I free up cash and what structure should I have? However, most of the issues, and I'd probably say, based off Twitter and Facebook combined, I'm probably saying about 70% at least or more, we're actually trying about the premiums. And Whitfield is the number one conundrum along with Hearn. Hoare's been named, so that's awesome. You don't have to worry about that if he is one of your issues. Matty Crouch is named, so he's not an issue either. So are there any other premiums that I'm missing that are out, or is it just pretty much the 2 defenders that have just
gone? Those are the main ones because most people are relying on them, particularly in the back line, to play this week.
Either relying on them to play or relying on them as an upgrade. throughout the buys.
Either way.
Yeah, which either way throws a real spanner in the works.
It's definitely throwing things up.
And the injury as well, because I was looking at Hearn coming in straight after his buy, but now his break-even's like 159.
161, but yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Me too. I was looking at him as my last defensive upgrade, and now I can't. There's no way I can pick him up because even when he plays that week, his break even still might not be low enough. Or he's at 600k right now.
I know he's 600k.
I'm not going to have 600k as my last upgrade. There's no way I'm going to have that cash.
No, you're better off waiting 2 weeks. But then by that stage, you should have got someone else.
Exactly right. So
it's a real pickle.
It's a conundrum, and a lot of people are going through it. What I will say is this about Whitfield: that unless you're playing for league and you're in a good position, so a lot of the leagues I'm actually not in the finals right now.
If you're going for leagues, it's a bit easier.
Only if you're firmly in the finals. Otherwise, you need a trade to try and win these next few games. So remember that with leagues, obviously, it doesn't really matter as long as you make the finals, but top 4 is preferable as well. But if other people are holding Whitfield and you get that advantage of that extra 50 to 70 points, depending on who they're fielding instead, that's a massive win for you in any particular week. So have a look at your matchups, see what the other teams are doing, if they do have Whitfield or if they don't.
If you have enough people this week, you could always wait the week.
You could as well. That's
if you have enough. And not only that, you could actually wait. I mean, GWS play... When do they play? The Saturday or Sunday? Just trying to have a look.
Sunday, I think.
So that's another thing we'll get into as well. Let me just have a look. But you can always wait on some of these premiums as well, just to see how your rookies go or your premiums go as to whether you do need to make a change. GWS are on these Saturday night, so that doesn't really work as much for them. But they're one of the last games. But here's the strategy, though. If you have 18 and you might be making some trades to have 19 or 20 players on this week, you can always wait and see how they go at the start of this round before you actually trade out.
That's true, like an Atkins of earlier in the year.
Well, yeah.
See how you're travelling before you pull that trigger.
Well, you can wait. Yeah. And the benefit is that by waiting, so say Carlton, you can wait for Setterfield.
So when are they playing?
So they're playing 7:40 p.m.
Okay, so
they're the last
you'll get half of the games through before you have to... Oh, no, you'll get half the games through. Yeah.
Yeah, so for instance, you can watch Setterfield or Gibbons and see how they do.
Yep.
So if they do well, wonderful. That's a score that's a score I'm going to take. Whereas if they spud up with something horrible, then you might be like, oh, maybe I need to actually make some moves.
Definitely an option.
You got Atkins.
Some people though, and a lot of people are in the boat where they can't physically have the time to watch those games, see those scores, and make the trade early enough.
Oh, is this a segue to? I'm sorry, I'm in Vegas. And I don't have
some
time.
people go overseas. And they have excuses. I don't know anyone that's like that. Do you happen to know anyone that's similar to that?
No one worth knowing.
Okay, good. Just making sure because who knows these days. So that's honestly though, I think it's much more prevalent to trade him.
Yeah.
Now we've got some fairly good inside information that the injury is worse than initially depicted by GWS.
Well, that's GWS in a nutshell.
Yeah. Now, what I'm not doing is this. I'm not waiting 4 weeks for Leon Cameron to turn around and be like,
he's out for 4 more
Hey, bro,
weeks.
Well, I don't know, but he might be back this week, he might not. And then the next week comes around, and the next week, and the next week. And before you know it, it's the finals, and he's still not playing. So we've heard it's closer to 6 to 8 than it is 4 to 6.
Yep.
And there's no way in hell I'm holding an injured player on my bench for that long, especially in my position. Like in my position when I'm 23,900 and whatever, I need to start making up points fast.
Yeah, you ain't
this is my time. I can't hold it.
Well, Matt Crouch has been out for 2 weeks longer than you thought, and that hurts.
The other consideration is trades, and I have a lot of trades, and you have a lot of trades, but there are a lot of people out there who only have, they've got 12 trades left going into the buys or 14 trades left going into the buys.
Yeah, that hurts.
They're not...
How many have you got?
18. Yeah.
As in before,
Before.
Okay, so 19 before the round.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I think I got a bit more cash than you. But so what my plans are this week, and this is for trading in general, is that I plan on setting myself up for next week. So I don't necessarily need a player this week from Whitfield, but I do. I'm actually, my direct trade for him is going to be Cornelio. So I'm going Whitfield to Cornelio, and I'm obviously swapping Ainsworth back into defence. And then I've got 2 other trades that I'm doing, and I'm trading in a buy rookie that's on this week, which is Brett Bewley. So I'm bringing him in a week early, and I know that's a dangerous thing, but there's no one else. At least I know that he only needs one more game to actually make cash, as opposed to some of the other guys that are out there.
Like Gardner.
Yeah, like Gardner Gardner and Clark are the other two that I'll probably end up getting in, but just not until next week. You can at least with Gardner, I can say wait for team announcements next week before going. And I think he played well, and I don't think he'll get dropped. But it's still a risk bringing in Gardner.
Oh yeah.
When he's
the only benefit of bringing in Gardner is he's only 100k. 100%. So even if he doesn't play anymore, it's kind of like he's freed up the maximum amount of cash that you can use to upgrade on field, and that's the benefit. Plus, which is why I was considering it.
I still have Burgess, so I got that D for defensive forwards.
Can you switch Spuds or can you?
Yeah, exactly right. It's actually just juggling Spuds.
Juggling Spuds.
Jesus, So the one down is Brett Bewley, and then the other one I'm getting in is a premium for the next buy round. So I'm actually getting in Travis Boak a week early, and the reason for that is next week I'm planning on using another 3 trades, getting in another 2 premiums, and then going down 1 again. So I plan on going down 2 Gardner next week, and then up will be Sicily and Ryan most likely with 2 premiums in defence. And that will leave me with only 2 upgrades left. So that's the reason why I'm going early on trades this week. So I can see why people wouldn't if they've already got their teams upgraded, but I'm lagging behind. And this is my moment to try and get that back. So a little bit different than most people out there, but that's what my trade plans are. But yeah, I think the overall resounding opinion is trade Whitfield.
Yep. And we've had pretty close contact with someone that told us on Monday that he was in for surgery and he was out for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't want to post it. It's none of my business, but it's nice knowing some information of someone that
we do get quite a few people.
And someone that knows someone that actually knows, like someone that actually knows him and what's going on and whatever have you and the time frames.
Yeah.
Because never trust what's being reported from GWS ever. And then some people got the inside word and people were like, so there was some places that posted it saying, look, we can't obviously release our sources. And then some people got really upset by it. It's like, mate, you've been given an early heads up and they're like, who's your source? Oh, whatever, load of crap. And then the next day it comes out that he had surgery and they're like, oh, well, you could have given us a source. And it's like, well, no,
I can't believe Tony Sheehan deleted his tweet. So he announced it early and obviously had inside information. And then for whatever reason, I'm assuming pressure from the club or someone said, hey, mate, you need to delete that. And he's just deleted it. But he was right.
Yes. Anyway, for me, trading, because I think it's more likely 6 to 8 than anything.
Do you have defined trade plans right now for the next 2 weeks, or are you still up in the air?
Him and Hearn have thrown a bit of a spanner in the works because I had everything laid out, Chris. Literally, I had the limo booked, I had the prom sorted, and then literally she didn't show.
And the hotel booked?
Yeah. And then she ended up going with some guy.
Was it free cancellation Steve. Just in case? It's one of those bookings.com free cancellations.
No. It wasn't.
It sounds like something you
Lucky it was a formal because, I got to cut. No, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there.
We went on a tangent.
You're trying to bait me into
tangent.
That. Well, I kind of made some preemptive trades. I actually got Scrim down to Rotham, and then I went and brought in Cornelio, and actually brought in Gardner early as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I figure I wouldn't mind Cornelio based on the fact that he has had a couple of injury concerns. I still think he could go 110 for the rest of the year. And I thought
this is a good time to go through.
I thought that a week
ago. Who are your
ago.
top 3 trade-in targets for Whitfield? Because to me, number 1 is Cornelio. Now, if you can, not everyone can do it.
No, if you can swing it. I can't do it unless I trade out
a midfielder to get Cornelio in, and then you get a Gardner in defence, right?
Yeah, it's pretty messy.
It's not that messy. You could probably do it. You could probably do that trade next week if you really wanted. But
but Cornelius going
want him
up
this week,
and he would play this week and next week, which is the key. My next best preference is going Sick Dog or Ryan early through the buys, because if I bring in, that was probably my original plan. I did think about bringing in Laird first because he'll play this week and next week, and then their buy in their last buy. I have enough players anyway, so Laird's actually was a good option, except he's not exciting me.
It's true.
He's not exciting me. If you run the Sick Dog and the Ryan train, it gives you a bit of excitement.
People, okay,
and they're less owned.
We've had some debates this week. People really hate Sicily because he's a bit of a flog, right? But how much better is it when that flog's in your team? It's like when he takes an intercept mark and kicks it 50 meters and to a contest. I'm just loving it.
Yeah, you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my flog.
Yeah, boy.
That's my flog.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, you're going to do one. I was like...
Yeah, rough him up.
But
No, don't get suspended.
When he's not in your team, you're like, oh, fuck that flog. Like, it's so true, right? Anyway, so with Laird, Jordan 17X just said GWS have gone to Laird the past 2 games. So that's interesting in itself.
So what you're saying is he is Laird to rest?
I don't think that Laird... Laird's not... We've discussed this in the past couple of pods. Laird's not the player he was last year or the year before.
Well, we also thought he would average 100 flat with all the defenders coming back into the side.
And he's literally almost averaging 100 flat.
99 or something, yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that that's necessarily bad. I'm just saying it's not a must-have. So,
well, the thing that actually takes away from his value, Chris, is not his 99 average. It's the fact that he's like owned by 37% of sides.
Yeah.
He's owned by 1/3 that... Yeah, he's probably going to keep ticking away, yes, but then Ryan or Sick Dog could absolutely have a massive flurry and just go on this huge roll where they just absolutely tail up.
The other one that you could look at if you can get him in is going straight for someone like Dunkley or Boak. So I think Dunkley and Boak, they're both very similar prices. They're about 520k.
550 for Boak's cheaper.
520k with a break even about 100.
Dunkley's like 550, yeah.
So which is a like for like. You don't need money. You can do that in one trade.
Yep.
So I think
you need that swing, but you're good.
Yeah. So I'm getting Boak in because I think that he's probably going to be better value. He's 30k cheaper, averaging more with a higher ceiling. That's why I'm going him. However, I do hope that I can get Dunkley over the next few weeks. If not, then I might be just running the risk it without the Dunkley train.
Fair enough.
I don't like it. I don't love it, but we'll have to see how we go.
Never know. Things might change in your favour.
Well, Westhoff's already going to be going 100 after Dixon comes back.
Well, Dixon's playing in the
Sanford this week.
Yeah, good on him.
So
and Ollie Wines
buy in the seniors, but he's playing in the reserves.
Yeah.
He might even play next week, so that's fantastic for me.
Hopefully. Well, I think he does improve his average. The one thing I think that
it's also really good for Robbie Gray as well.
The one thing that I'm actually considering with premiums is the easy buy home, like the easy draw home. So AFL released an article, I think it was yesterday, so you can go in there and have a look. But it brings up the difficulty rank for the teams and what they have left. Mm-hmm. So the easiest teams that have the run home, according to Champion Data, St Kilda have the easiest, then Geelong, Collingwood, Brisbane, and West Coast. So for me, I'm actually looking at bringing in premiums from those sides.
Yeah.
By those sides, I exclude St Kilda because they don't have a premium on their list. Kidding. Just kidding, because I could actually, based on this, I could actually find value in bringing in a Billings or even a Marshall based on the fact that they have the easiest draw home. They have the bye this week, which makes them appealing. Geelong, Collingwood, and West Coast and Brisbane all have the bye next week, which kind of makes them problematic. However, if you're looking at tossing up between, if you have the buys all sorted, the premiums. So I now, Bontempelli, Dogs have the third hardest draw going home.
Okay.
And I was wanting to get Bontempelli like the plague. I was like, I'm bringing him in next week.
In round 14, he looks juicy.
He does, but now, third hardest draw, Bontempelli, is he going 115? Probably not. In my opinion.
Does he need to go 115?
I don't know.
He's already 113, right?
Yeah.
If he was at average 110 for the rest of the year, would you be upset when you paid 520k for him?
You wouldn't be upset, but the problem is he has the flurry. He goes 150 and then he just falls away with 70s. You know, but then I'm thinking about so you
still had 27 disposals last week.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no.
And only he got a bit robbed last week, but that's not normal for him.
It was 55 disposal efficiency. It was pretty bad.
He didn't do the whole.
Didn't do justice. However,
didn't do that one would kick it down the line.
No. I still like Bontempelli, but now it's sort of questioning myself. Maybe I should get a Yo, maybe I should get a Duncan, maybe I should get someone else that is low owned and has a better draw.
I would prefer them if I could afford them.
Yeah.
People. I just find
beggars can't be choosers.
Maybe it's just me and my shit team, but how are people affording 590k midfielders M8?
I don't know.
I don't Yo's 586,000 or something, and Duncan is 606.
Yeah. Good luck.
What are you doing? You've missed the boat. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I have all this cash, Chris.
Maybe I'm the one without the cash. Because
I'm going to end up with someone horrible at F6.
Well, I didn't get Hoare or Stack, so those are two that I really missed. So maybe people just have more money than me, and that's the thing. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe
You're on the budget rental.
Maybe I'm just
Anyway,
cruising that budget train.
after that list, Carlton, Fremantle, and the Giants rack up after that. So the Giants have the better end of the stick as to do Fremantle. So I think Ryan is also a good option. That's what.
What do you think
it's
about
my train of thinking.
What do you think about Zach Williams?
I think I was
Trading down to Zach Williams.
Oh no, his break even's pretty high.
Well, I mean, he's still a lot cheaper than Whitfield, so you're still going to bank cash.
Correct.
And you're still going to get him for this game, and he's averaged 114 in games without Whitfield.
Nah, I'd wait. I'd rather go sick dog or Ryan and then wait for his price to drop. And
I
then
don't need to do it because I've already got him,
after
and
the
you've
bye.
already got him. But...
Well, I was actually looking at moving him on previously, but now I can't. Whitfield in and out of my side. That's 2 trades gone.
No, definitely don't move him out. All right. Excuse me. I'm all good. So let's just go through some. We've got quite a lot of questions, guys.
Yep, we're going to focus on these.
So Aiden Hayen? Sorry if I can't pronounce that right. He said, good to wait on Naish. Yeah, definitely waiting on Naish. The amount of ridiculously good rookies that have come through into the AFL system and then go 30.
Or get injured.
Yeah, just do not bother with that. You can't rely on VFL scoring to replicate that in the AFL. Plus, who knows what role they're going to have? They're not probably going to have the same role.
Mate, I'm just happy Naish is getting a crack, okay? That's
No,
why
it's good,
he's
but-
been chipping away. It's kind of like Tom Mitchell of forever ago where he couldn't get a game.
Yeah.
I'm just happy he's getting a game.
And then he followed that up with surely Naish would be better than Rotham if Rotham was to play. Maybe. I mean,
No, well, Rotham's going to make 75k this week, so
that's
I'll
the
take
issue. Yeah, well, you're getting a guy that's immediately going to make 75k.
that.
But
In 1 week, he will probably make more than Scott.
do they have equivalent job security? Probably. So what's the point? I wouldn't be going with either of those if I had a choice. If the goal was I want someone to play games, I wouldn't be touching either of them yet. So I'd wait on that one. Struder says, got a cheeky Moore and Trelaw to Hooley and Cogs. Decent trades.
I'd hold Trelaw, though. What's wrong with Trelaw?
He's just, and here's the thing why you might want to hold him is that Dane Beams is gone.
Yeah,
Adams is
out.
still out. And look, I know he can't kick the football and he gets the pill, but
He's going to get a lot of football.
He's always got that opportunity to hit a 140, 150 because he gets so much of the pill. Now, what I will say about Hooley, a couple of things.
Oof.
Hooley has not played football against a top 8 side yet. That's true.
Oh, wow.
So he's averaging that and hasn't played a top 8 side yet. He's never averaged more than 95 in a single season. His body is held together by blue tack. So, if you trade him in, make sure you're not one of those people that has low trades. Only be trading in Hooley if you actually have
If you're Chris.
enough trade. I can do it because I got plenty of trades.
Are you doing it?
No.
No,
fuck
me
no.
either. Me either.
I know that he's going to break. I'm not going to do that.
No, I am not on the Hooley train at all whatsoever.
Check out the last time he played a full season. It was
should-
like 2014.
And you know what the upsetting part was? I pretty much ripped Ben Ashton last week because he
and
was
then he comes out and gives a 140.
139 or something. Wasn't it like he's sitting there? I was like,
He's
mate.
been no. Now I will. Okay, so two things. While we're on the Ben Ashton train.
He asked it big time.
Ben, if you are watching, here it comes.
He will. He always does.
But
He waits for his calls. He waits for his name.
I apologise for calling Marshall a spud and for naming you a spud for getting said Marshall.
Yep. They were trying to work out, and I came up with the plan because I was like, Port are playing the Saints this week, so let's let bygones be bygones. Let's finally have the matchup and see who wins this battle. And Chris gets absolutely smacked.
You know what he was doing? It was like, did you watch it?
He
Literally, Lysette and Paddy Ryder just went, you go wherever you want, mate. I'm not following you. He was like on his own in the back line waiting one kick behind the play. It's like, we're over here. Like, they just didn't care. They were winning by so much, they just stopped caring about Marshall.
He went like 25-30 something. It was just huge because he had all of them. And like Warpool and stuff got like 97.
Yeah.
His team went absolutely big. But he's sitting there chatting to me like, I'm thinking about going... I don't even know.
He was going to trade Whitfield in and he went Hooley. Bullet dodge. He went like...
Yeah. No, he's like, he was going to get in Josh Kelly. And in the end...
That was my really lame attempt.
Instead of going Josh Kelly, he went for... Taranto and Hooley. That's pretty... He traded in those two players.
So at least he had one bad trade. That's all right.
Yeah. So, and then Hooley came out with a big bang and then Taranto went absolutely
Who knows? Because
spud up.
it's funny because literally for one round, Taranto was averaging more than Canelio. And then in that round, it completely switched, and now Cornelia is averaging more than Taranto.
Yeah.
And their roles changed. So that's the thing that I took out of that game is that, and which is why I think there's a lot of things going on for Cornelia, but he's been injured, which means he's been playing a lot more minutes forward, and he hasn't been playing as many minutes on the actual ground. So that's impacted his scoring. He changed that last week, and it's completely flipped his game. So I do believe that in the back end of the year, as long as he stays injury-free, he will average a lot more than he did in the first half.
Yep.
So I think if you was to take a split, the first 11 games, last 11 games, he'll be averaging, I am predicting around 110 for the rest of the season. So
yeah, I'm
I
pretty
think it's a
happy to
value at M7, M8 at 510k.
Yeah, that's cheap.
Like, man, again, I need to be picking value players.
510k. Don't forget, at the start of the year, 550k was for a guy averaging 100.
Yeah.
So 500k, like 510k, it's cheap as.
good.
So if you can get literally, if I can get Bontempelli and Cornelio as my 7 and 8, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah. So our advice is no to Hooley.
No to Hulu.
No. Yes to Cornelio.
Like, look, it could work out for you, but
Trade
seriously.
Whitfield.
Trade Whitfield. No to who? Who was the second one?
No
yes
to Hooley,
Cogs?
yes to Cogs.
Yep.
Trade Whitfield.
Well, I gave someone some advice last week. I think it was on the Friday before the game. Someone was asking me the exact same thing, being like,
I know him too, yeah.
Oh, right, okay. So he's like, I want to bring in Taranto, or who should I bring in?
He's throwing in Taranto or Cornelio. I didn't know which one he was going to
No,
trade.
he didn't even want Cornelio. He's saying, I need a good option. I'm thinking about
right.
like Taranto. And I was like, well, who have you got? Like, have you got Josh Kelly? Oh, yeah, I've got Josh Kelly. I was like, okay. I was like, well, if you're going Taranto, like, have you got, Cornelio? I was like, he was cheap as last week too.
Yeah,
and he was like,
470k.
no, like Taranto's killing it. And I was like, yeah, but that was against dodgy sides. Like his average went from like 100 to 102 to like 106.
Yep.
Went absolutely
No,
skyrocketing.
100,
huge.
102, 109.
Oh,
And then back to 105.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was, and I was like, good on him. I didn't realize Taranto was actually doing that well. However, I still rate Cornelio as a high rate player. Like he's still very, very talented, and it's just unfortunate that he wasn't scoring well. But his price bottomed out hard, and I was actually hoping to get him at a bit more of a stagnant price. But anyway, so he messaged me, and he was so upset at the one point when he messaged me saying, "Oh, I should have taken your advice," because I was still big on Cogs. Mm-hmm. I was like, I think from here he probably has more of a better chance to average 110, and he's a better price.
Yep.
Just luck has it. And I messaged him being like, when he messaged me, I was like, oh, look at that. Turns out Cogs is actually 100 points more than Taranto right now. Like, how bad would you feel?
I would feel bad as well.
Yeah, it's just luck. It's 100% luck.
Now, I do want to have a quick shout out, actually. Seeker11 just subscribed as a tier 1 sub.
Seeker.
So thank you very much, Seeker. I do apologise for
Hashtag blessed.
Yeah, I'll replay. Just so you know, we've had technical difficulties, which is why we started about 10 minutes late. And by technical difficulties, what I mean is I have a laptop. We've got two had a laptop, and we did everything on that laptop, and it got reclaimed by my previous employment just recently, and then I had to change everything over to a new laptop, which is fine. But all the settings and everything that we have, it was deleted, and I had
Chris
to start
was getting
again.
really frustrated because he couldn't get it to work the way he wanted
I was.
to.
So hopefully this works. I'm changing this live. So let's see if
it's not going to work, Chris. Why are you messing with it?
No, it'll work. It'll work. I'm a first time sort of guy.
It is not going to work.
All right, let's see if that works. If it does, fantastic. If it doesn't, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's there.
There we go. Get in there. Thanks, Seeker. Get in.
Sick dog.
Well done. Well done, Sick Dog.
Awesome.
All right, let's keep going through these questions. So who would you recommend come in for Whitfield? Leaning towards Laird due to buy structure. That was from Tom Williamson.
Yeah.
We have covered that.
Buy structure, yeah. If you need someone for that has the last round buy, then I think he's
that's
still
why
the
I think
best option.
Cornelio is a better option. Or if you can get a forward,
if you have
Jeremy
if you
Cameron.
have that defender in your midfield and you can swing that, then I would do that.
Or Jeremy Cameron, who's absolutely killing it right now.
Yeah.
And seems to be that there's no slowing him down. And I don't think there's any defense in the league that can really stop them.
I wanted to bring him in last week. I just couldn't afford to bring him and Whitfield in, and I chose Whitfield. Look at that.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, either.
Unlucky.
But worth looking at it. So Nathan Dav 77 says, Benny, I can't pay attention to you without a Coasters jumper on.
Yeah.
What happened to the Coasters jumper tonight?
It's a bit cold out, mate.
It is a bit cold out.
I've been doing assessment, to be honest. Like I nearly lost track of time, which is why I was kind of running over here. I've got 2 more assessments due in the next 10 days. So I'm hard out on that. Actually, no, the next 8 days. Jesus. Anyway, so it was a bit cold out, so I threw my AFL Queensland jumper on. It's got it all zipped up, mate. It's quite cozy, to be honest. So
It is a bit cool and cozy, isn't
and
it?
I figured it's a Thursday podcast, so I can kind of get away with it. But
enough.
otherwise, yeah, usually, yes, I will do. Chris will have the heated nipples ready for me.
Sure. All right, moving on. So
I was waiting for that question, actually.
Dean BHK69 said, what cheaper mid-premium should I get, Cogs or Pendles?
Oh, Cogs.
If you are playing for League, and so I'm big on this right now. If you are playing for League,
I couldn't tell.
or you don't have too many round 13 premiums, Pendlebury is going to actually tear up the competition in the next 10 weeks. So you've got Beams out for the rest of the season. You've still got Adams out for the foreseeable future, I think 2 to 4 weeks. He's in, honestly, I reckon career best form. I wouldn't mind having a sneaky bet on his Brownlow chances. He's killing it every week. He's playing better football than I've seen in the last 3 to 4 years.
What's he averaging?
He's averaging 112, 113.
No way.
Yeah, he's going well, man. Imagine if it was remember last year when you had that bet? By the way, we should check on the Heath Shaw versus...
That'd be still close, though. Pendles versus Bontpet would still be close.
Yeah, it would be. It would really be.
Oh, I'm actually searching Pendles. What a rookie. Pendlebury.
Here we go.
He's 550,000. His average is 108, Chris.
108. So it's
Bont
about to be
Bont
113.
is still winning.
He's just cleaning up.
He has gone big. Well, look, okay, so he went from round 6, 138, 127, 85, 79, 146, 135.
Yeah, he's on a tear.
Yeah,
That's
right.
decent.
And Collingwood do have an easier draw coming home.
He's
so.
playing really good football.
Oh.
So I don't hate Pendles as an option, but again, it doesn't. I can't get him in because by the time that round 14 is the earliest you can get him in. He'll be too expensive, and I'm not
his
going to
break even's 49.
Yeah.
He's predicted to go up to 575.
Yeah.
And he has a bye next round. Yeah, so that hurts.
Yeah.
However, he is only owned in, obviously, 6%. It's actually in quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So
Go Parker instead, guys. Less owned.
Don't do Parker. He's in the burn list.
Dude,
He's on the burn list.
Excuse me, Chris.
Nah, never again.
Do you want me to read Parker's
I know,
scores
but
for the
his scores
whole
are.
year?
Every time.
The whole year.
Yeah, he was a
Just 'cause
93 at like half time or
Just
something.
because you brought him across
Never going to happen.
last year, you're still bitter.
I am bitter. The guy screwed me over hardcore.
Yeah, well...
He screwed me.
Okay,
me
for
harder
those
than a
out there,
$2
right?
hooker.
Parker, 2% of sides, break even to 94. His scores for the whole year starts off bad, right? 86, 109, 90, 100,
Sounds like Parker from last year.
102, right?
Sounds like Parker from last
105, 98. His last 4 rounds, 114, 145, 135, 135. So without JPK, he's
year.
been going
And
absolutely
JPK's out for what, another month?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. So what we're saying is we just need to JPK to have another injury and then you'll be fine.
Who averages more for the rest of the year, Pendles or Parker? I'm surprised it took too long.
Probably Pendles. Because Beams is out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, true.
So
Anyway, let's move on.
well, not the normal season, not the finals where we'll be. Hopefully Brisbane will be there for the first time in a while, which will be good.
Hopefully. I don't know why everyone's getting so excited, mate. Have they seen Brisbane the last 10 years? Like, don't get excited early. That's all I can say. Like,
Fair enough.
Like, ever.
Fatman Leg says, hello, you have won a 10-minute host of my channel. Thank you very much, Fatman Leg. If you want to be chosen again, visit my channel. Oh, thanks, buddy. Nice work. Nathan says, thoughts on Gaff for the final mid-spot, sitting with Fife, Cripps, Oliver, Cogs, Crouch, McRae, and Neil. After his bye, can't get to Jelly. Yeah, well, a lot of people can't right now. Gaff versus Yo. I mean, pull up those stats right now. I'll do Gaff. I'll do Yo, you do Gaff. Because honestly, if you're going to go one of them, I still cannot believe...
Who am I going, Gaff?
You're going Gaff, I'm going. I can't believe people are overlooking Yo. Like, I know he had a poor week last week, but...
Gaff's in 3% of sides, averaging 108.9.
What's his 3 and 5?
Oh, not that great. 3 and 5. 3-round average is 112. 5-round average is 120. Okay, maybe I'm lying.
It's going all right then.
Where's his big score? 154.
Yeah,
that's
150.
why.
Yep.
Yeah, 154, 109, 110, 106, 121.
So Yo...
And his 150 was against Gold Coast, so disregard that because that's never happening again.
And how much is he priced at?
566.
With a break even of?
Break even of 111.
Okay. So I think Yo's a better pick. So Yo is 580k. However, 83k. He's got a break even of 143.
So by his buy round after that?
After his buy, he'll be about 560, you'd say. He's got a 3-round and a 5-round of 113 and 117. 117 5 round. and he's only averaging 100 for the year. But as we've mentioned before, since Gaff came back into the team, he's gone 114, 86, 116, 132, 115, 136, 115, and 90 last week. With the run with last week as well. So, mate, Yo is your man. Yeah. To me, Yo's the guy that can in a big game, he goes really big. Gas, that 150 from Gaff, that's not a regular thing from Gaff. He doesn't really usually go that big. He's more of that sort of consistent. If he's going big, it's a 120. He doesn't really vary too much outside of that. So, good on him for doing that. But I can't see him out averaging Yo from here into the end of the season.
That's fair enough.
That's my personal opinion.
Fair enough.
But he's got no love.
No,
one's showing him any love.
I'm actually considering getting him in, Chris, because of that low ownership. For me, my last 3 mids, or my last 2 mids, I'm actually tossing up between Cogs, Yo, and Bont. 2 of the 3. And I might even try and do those 2 in the next 2 weeks. Imagine that, having my midfield
I'm probably going to hit Bont, because in Bont in round 14 will be 520k.
Imagine having.
And I don't reckon I'm going to have 560k, which is.
Imagine having my midfield set by the second buy. That'd be sick.
That would be good. All right, moving on to the next question here. Jordan 17X says Clark over Bewley. Ooh, no, I wouldn't do that.
I think Bewley's cheaper and he's played 2 games.
The only reason why I won't say that is because Dylan Clark has never been able to hold down his spot in the 3 years he's been on an AFL list.
And he got given a role. They literally thought of him saying, we've got a role for you, and now that role's done...
I want to see him another game, and then I want to see him named for a third before I put him in.
And I think you get lucky. It's so many tackles. He was running with Cripps, and Cripps is just always where the ball is, always where the ball is going.
Yeah.
So you run with someone else, and they'll just go, oh, okay, well, you're taking him, so we'll just go elsewhere. Whereas Carlton don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
It was always Cripps. So you go somewhere else and you tag if he does get another role of running with someone.
I agree.
Like if he runs with Sloan, it's like cool. Well, Sloan's just like okay, well I'll just do the team thing, and then Matt Crouch and Brad Crouch and everyone else tears up, and then guess what? He doesn't even get the ball, doesn't get 10 tackles, doesn't get anything.
Yeah, he's an accumulator, and if he doesn't have the role of an accumulator, then he's not going to do anything. That's just how it is. I do like the score that he's got first. But I'm wary of the fact that I don't think he's locked into that side just yet.
Do you think it's the Scott factor? One good score and then...
Probably.
Never seen again?
Yeah.
Why can't he be named? New coach? Bring him in. Bring in Scott.
I reckon. Just do it.
Yep.
I would just... And the other thing is he's 150k. So he's not cheap. It's not like you're actually getting a discount getting him.
No,
Bewley's 117k. So worst case scenario, you're at least 32k ahead if he doesn't play. So for me, I would rather go Bewley over Clark at this stage. But in 2 weeks' time, he's still going to be available. Then you pick him up. That's my opinion. All right. Steen says, gotta love the inside word. Well done. Thank you very much, Steena. Thank you, Seeker11 again. Seeker11 says, evening, gents. I've got no idea what I want to do. I'm not so blessed. Buddy, let us know. Shark your team in the comments. We'll give you a shout. Actually, jump onto what?
You're not blessed either, Chris.
No, I'm not blessed. Jump onto Twitter.
That wasn't a hair joke. That was your
Facebook team. And text us a screenshot of your team, and we'll be able to help you out there. How does that sound? That sounds good. I'm not listening to you.
No,
you just pay me out.
I wasn't. I was talking about your team. I was saying you're not blessed as in your team, but then I realized I was pointing to your head, and then I was like, it wasn't a hair joke. It was a your team sucks joke.
It is pretty.
It wasn't personal, Chris.
All right. Tom Williamson said everyone's sleeping on Ben Cunnington. I'm torn with Ben Cunnington because he's never done it before.
No, he's done well, but
he's averaging really well. I actually don't hate Ben Cunnington as an option, but he's also 30k more than Canelio right now. I don't have them. Again, do you
think it's just the aesthetic factor where when you watch a game, you're not going, you know what? Well, A, I'm not watching North Melbourne games because it's North Melbourne. They're not exciting. B,
Agreed.
If I'm watching the game, I'm not like, yeah, Cunnington, get the ball, do something exciting. It's kind of like, whereas if you watch Kelly, it's like, oh, yeah, Kelly.
I'm already watching enough Carlton games, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's only so much bad footy you can watch.
No, exactly. No, well, actually, so I've weighed this up personally. I think it's 35k more than Canelio, which, first of all, I can't afford. And second of all, I think they're probably close to or a couple of points here and there with the same buy. So, yeah, you could go like one straight trade. You could go Whitfield to Cunnington. and I don't hate it. He's in good form. He's had a good patch of, say, 11 games of good scoring. It's not a bad trade, and I wouldn't just begrudge anyone from doing it. I'm just not doing it. I don't know. I just don't like it.
What are your thoughts, Chris, seeing you are so close to the matter, on Robbie Gray at a nice low fee of $400K?
I hate it because I can't loophole him. So I would love to have Robbie Gray in my team and loophole him, but I can't loophole him with Westhoff. So I can't have him.
And Boak. Yeah, you can't have all three.
No, I can't. So, why would I? I can't do it.
Right.
But I can see the merit in other people doing it.
Do you think it's a trap, though?
It's a slight trap because...
Do you think that his good
Ollie
score...
Wines is playing this week in the reserves, and he's probably going to be playing next week.
Yep.
So that's going to impact the mid-minutes, and then you've got Rocky coming back probably next week as well.
Yep. Do you think he played that mid-roll?
Mainly? 100%.
Yep.
But having said that, again, you've got now Dixon coming back as another forward spot taken up.
Yeah.
Where does Robbie Gray fit in? And as I said, he plays mid-minutes at the end of the quarters anyway. He does get his mid-minutes, so he can score well in those mid-minutes. He hasn't been kicking goals. Look at his goal scoring this year. It's been shocking. The last 4 years of running, he's kicked bags of 5 and 6 goals, regularly. And that's really impacted his scoring. And this year, it's just not happening. And that's part of the Port's ball movement, which has been absolutely shocking this year. So I don't know. They've taken a leaf out of the old Jack Crisp textbook with the long kick down the line way too often. Not switching the play.
I think it's just lucky Rosie makes it look more interesting than it is.
When they move the ball quick and through the hands of Butters and Rosie, they look like an absolute jet team.
Well, yeah, they take it on.
100%.
Yeah.
But they are 2-1 pace through the midfield and on the wing and through half-back flank. They are well 2-1 pace team. And so when they try and move the ball, they either get shut down really quickly or they end up turning the ball over because their foot skills aren't good enough. And it's been frustrating to watch because earlier in the season when they just went helpful, they took the game on and just risked it. They were playing much better football and they were scoring a lot better. It was more conducive to Robbie Gray when he went, I think, 4 scores in a row of 90 plus. So
that's fair. Can I just put this on the record? You've said more 100% than I have today.
100%.
I'm too self-conscious now.
Fair enough. All right, Sicily or Boak for Whitfield? I think Boak's the easy one there.
Boak as well.
However, having said that, I think really Sicily without Scrimshaw, we went 108 last week.
I think he's good.
I think he could go really well.
I thought he was going to go well against Brisbane anyway because their forward line isn't they're good.
They're just not that big marking type.
They're not as good aerially.
Yeah.
So I think that's where his strength really comes in, and he didn't start that great either. He really flourished after that first quarter. So
he's been fairly consistent with his scoring. I put Sicily in. I do think that he will finish top 6.
Yeah, I'm putting around that mark.
So I'm getting him in the next 2 weeks. He's only $490K right now.
He's cheap.
So you can get him in this week or next, but I'm definitely getting him in the next 2 weeks. Ando resubbed. Thank you very much, Ando.
Oh,
well done.
You, Ando.
Thank you very much for Sir Black Knight for the resub. Let's check that
find him
on the screen.
Let's see Sick Dog again one more time.
Oh no, it doesn't come up on the. Oh wait, I have to work out. Here we go. Resubs. Oh, I don't think I have tiered subscriptions.
Yes,
oh, there we go.
Hey!
Beautiful. Thank you very much, guys. And anyone else who does want to donate to us, feel free to do that. It's very easy to do. Just go to twitch.tv/SC_insider. Just beneath the little camera of SuperCoach Insider, you'll be able to see a donate button or a subscribe button in your top right. So
yeah, you could go a long way to helping us get some beers next week.
You could.
I'm relying on you.
Poor as shit.
I am.
Nah, to be fair,
I'm relying on you.
That's cool. And we've got plenty of spirits down there, mate. I got a bottle of tequila that needs to be drunk by someone.
It's not a Friday or a Saturday night, mate.
I don't drink tequila, and I got a bottle of tequila for my birthday. I'm like, it's like an expensive bottle of tequila, but I'm just like, The only expensive tequila I like drinking is XO Patron. Or Don Julio, which is actually just smooth as silk. It's really nice. Anyway, moving on. So we're just talking about tequila now.
Yeah.
Cato says Kim Duthie was the Saints' last premium. What?
Yeah, as in they don't have a premium.
It's
been so long.
I get it.
Well, Nick Rewalt, surely, but yeah.
Stonesy says thoughts on Hooley, which we did cover. So if you want Stonesy,
well, maybe he
rewind.
Maybe he put that up there, Chris, and you're just too slow to look at the comments.
Fair enough. And he said thoughts on Pendle. Yeah, that's also true.
No, and Pendles, look at that.
All right. Seagull 11 says Sick Dog, nice. Yep, excellent. Steen 76. Everyone really is sleeping on Cunners. Yeah, well they are, but That's also why I'm not really I don't really care that I don't have him, because
No.
the best case scenario is he averages whatever someone else can average around the same price.
There's probably 2 people in the top 1,000 that
He
might have
doesn't
him.
really hurt you that much, does he?
No.
He's not got has he got any 150, 160 scores out of the blue?
Does he have a 200 plus? No.
And if he goes shit, well, then you're the only one who's got him. So, I don't know. It's a risky pick.
It is.
It's got a bit of risk in it. Anyway, Bomber Nida said, is it worth bringing in Rotham if playing to save a donut? At best, we'll have 17 on the field. Again, it just depends if you're playing for overall, right?
Yeah. If you're playing for it, every player on the field counts. So you need to kind of have a look. So I'm trying to make some moves. At this point in time, I should have 18. I probably might need to make one trade to make that happen for this week. But I'm loaded in the last buy round, so I need people this week and next week, basically.
Yeah.
So for me, I might try and bring in someone early for next week, because at this point in time, I'm probably having about 15 players next week.
Yeah. I would probably say that there's more of a chance of Gardner playing more games than Rotham from now to the end of the season.
Yeah.
So
I'm probably with you there.
I'd probably go Gardner over Rotham. They're defense forward. He's a defender forward.
And it frees up an extra 20k.
Another 20k for you. That's probably the play I would go, even though obviously he's only on the one game, he's not on the bubble, and you're not going to make cash from him right now. You're probably not really looking to make cash out of him. You're probably just looking for him to play games and be I need someone on the field.
Essentially, if you can pick him up for 103k or 102k, whatever it is,
yeah,
he plays you next round when you have nobody, and then he sits on your pine for the rest of the year, but he's freed up the maximum amount of cash he can to get another premium in.
Yeah.
Best case is he just keeps playing, and he might make you some cash. You might have a luxury downgrade later, but realistically, he's just giving you that cash and actually providing you a body on field for round 13.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fair enough. All right, Seager again just said, Stocker not named, not even as an emergency. Come on, Carlton rookie coach.
Yeah, he's injured.
You must not like him, eh?
They said injured though, Stocker, so...
Oh, that's right, yeah. He was listed as injured, Seeker 11.
Maybe he's injured because he was broken-hearted.
Yeah. Nathan Dev says, cheers, lads. I like Yo too. Was looking at the consistency over the fluctuations. And that is a concern. And there is, Gaff can get tagged out of games as well. But I think it's more likely that you tag Yo than Gaff. I think his impact in games is bigger. Gaff generally is an accumulator. He's generally good with his disposal. But in terms of that penetrating kick and that really damaging play, that's more Yo or Shuey. I think they attract tags more than Gaff does, which is why he's probably a little bit more consistent than the other two.
I think the other reason for Cornelio is they play Gold Coast again in the last round.
They do, yeah. So again, it's an overall thing.
Overall,
yeah,
it's huge. If you're playing for league though, then he's not going to get that ground. Surely they play some attention. Yeah.
Surely you get absolutely destroyed by a single player or by 5 players or whatever, but.
Quite a few.
Yeah. Surely you put some attention into him. Maybe because they ran they locked down on Whitfield in the game, didn't they? They ran Holman on Whitfield. That was the tag that they went with. So anyway, and I think that will happen. We did say at the start of the year, Whitfield's probably got to get some attention at some point.
Yeah, he got attention
and
twice.
Then he got tagged. And then he got tagged and got injured. Oh, can't. All right.
He got absolutely sandwiched too when he did that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, Stonesy started saying 100%. Carl says Stonesy started saying 100%. Yes, Stonesy.
Nice.
Well
it's
done.
Infectious. I don't know who started it.
Yep.
I don't know if it was Katrina, me, or you.
You started it. 100%
Yeah,
you started it.
Well, it must have been Katrina, I swear. I don't know. Either
No, you won't let it.
Either that or
I'm the one who talks.
Maybe it is me saying it, and then it's gone into like Katrina saying it, now you're saying it.
Yeah, everybody's
now
saying
Stonesy's saying it.
You're right.
Carl's going to say it soon.
Carl, get on it.
It is going to happen.
Carl also says Exo Patron is my jam. Love it. Yeah, dude, Exo Patron. If you guys like anything coffee flavored, it's like the single best standard shot that you can actually have. It tastes nice going down, and it's fairly alcoholic. It's good. So when people say I'll have a shot of tequila, I'm like, yeah, I will. If you've got XO, that's it. I don't do normal. I'm too old for this normal tequila rubbish or who does vodka shots.
I'm too old for a Jaeger bomb race.
Yeah, well, I'll do Jaeger. No, but I won't do. What else would I do? If I'm doing scotch, race? I'll have it on the rocks and I'll have decent scotch.
Have you ever done like a Jaeger bomb race where you have like 2 or 3 lined up and you're like bang drop, bang drop, bang drop?
Oh, but as long as they're with Red Bull. That's not really a shot. It's a cocktail.
It's a cocktail. Anyway, move on, Chris.
All right.
I got study to do.
Strutter says, thanks for the advice, lads. Didn't realise Hooley hasn't played against top 8 side. Reverse trades. More Whitfield and Corbett out for Lloyd, Gardner and Cameron. I like it. I like it a lot. Lloyd is a massive in. Again, if you can fit Lloyd, if you don't have Lloyd, that's something we didn't mention. Yes. If you don't have Lloyd, but he doesn't impact you around 13 by, get him now. He's unbelievable. The one trade the one in that I've had in my team the whole year that hasn't let me down is Lloyd.
Yep. And I'm so glad because I was tossing up between Lloyd and Laird, and I'm so glad I did not go Laird.
Can you imagine?
I'd be ranked like 10,000.
We'd be reversed, and I'd be like...
We wouldn't be reversed. You'd still be 20,000.
Well, I'd still be 20,000, but you would be a lot closer to me.
I'd be worse.
Yeah.
It's all luck based. Like
it's true.
I give Chris so much crap because normally I'm like a draft sort of person. I think I spread myself a bit thin and trying to cover...
He's not even going to make the finals this year in main league.
I've covered too many drafts. I've covered way too many draft leagues. I can't even pay attention to the point where now I'm like, oh, there's so many of this.
I think I'm still like top of the leaderboard in our AFL fantasy draft league that we did.
Oh, I
haven't touched it in like 8 weeks.
Our draft league though, Chris, I think I wrote down he stole 8 picks directly, 3 picks before me.
Well,
and
that's what happens, mate.
I actually talked up Jeremy Cameron out loud because I was like, oh, who cares? It doesn't really matter. And then someone picked him up just before me, literally the pick before me, Wes. Spread myself thin, so it's not good. But normally you are the standard expert. I
wouldn't say I'm an expert right now.
No, as in you're usually a lot better. I still actually value your opinions in standard more than my own. That's the truth, 100%.
Thanks, mate. That makes me feel good.
I do.
I have finished in the top 1,000 3 times, but you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I still value your opinions.
It's all good. Look, some of it's luck, but a lot of it's skill and trading. And look, hopefully I'll still make it back to I think that there's a lot of people that went really big really early that have got, not lucky, but they've
held their lead.
They've held their lead because they haven't had to spend their trades. Now that these injuries are starting to pop up, they've realized, wow, I don't have trades.
Yep.
Like, I need to stop trading.
Yeah, they live like Ben.
Well, no, but Ben's not going too bad. He's going well. He's almost got a full premium side already.
Yes.
So that's why he's going so well. Anyway, moving on. So, thoughts on Whitfield, B. Scott North, Butters for Cogs, Boak and Gardner. Well, Butters just went big, so I know that he's on his bias, but you might want to hold him to get you through the rest. Bailey Scott, I can understand the need for trade, but he's on the verge of being played. So
not only that, he's only made 50k. He's only 170,000. So you're not going to make cash to really upgrade. You're just doing it so you can get a body on field.
Yeah.
But even that body has not that much job security long term.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably, depending on your other midfield sub, I don't mind going Boaks and Cogs in. He's probably going to have to downgrade. I'd probably hold Scott, trade Whitfield and trade Butters. Sorry, excuse me. You could probably go Whitfield and Butters to Cogs and Boak. You probably have enough there. Oh, maybe he doesn't. Because it's only 50k. Surely not.
If it's the 50k...
If the 50k means the difference between you making those trades and not making those trades, do it. 100%. Happy with that?
Yeah.
Sort of?
Sort of.
Well, it's Boak and Cogs, and they're both going to go up in price.
You could
you could probably not do it for a week.
You could probably find a better option.
If Bailey Scott gets named next week, then you'd be upset, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I would be, because it's the one round you actually need him. So maybe hold on.
Which means he probably will play next week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Ando. So Sir Black Knight says Black Sam Booker is the best shot, or Fireball. Actually, I don't mind Fireball. It's a fun shot. I don't feel it's very alcoholic.
I'm gonna pass on both.
And Black Sam Booker is like one of those ones that I'll do, but I'm not happy about it. Like, I'll just be like, okay, I did it because everyone else is doing it.
I could say so many things, Chris.
Yeah, you could.
But I'm not.
All good. Kato 2023 says, I remember when Ben was drafting in 2 different drafts at the same time. It's true.
It was complicated. I had so much fun though. I'm not gonna lie. I had so much fun doing it.
But we've got a few more questions coming through. But do you want to grab the Facebook and Twitter questions that we can cover through as well?
Oh no, it's just the polls, Chris.
Oh, okay, cool. So
yeah, I will check though, but you go through those.
Excellent.
Yep. So we'll spend another 5 minutes or so doing these questions.
Yep. So Stonesy says Hayes to Gardner this week for bank, Yeah, do it. Hayes is a dud. He's not coming back anytime soon. Good
Not only
trade.
that, Hayes actually gets you 100k.
Yeah, and it's the only one that's actually worth it.
Well, he's hit enough. Yeah. Like, yes, he's only made you about 75, 80,000, I think, 75.
Yeah.
However, going down to 100k person does free up 100k. So it is
as much bank as you can in this week for next week. Triple upgrade if you can. All right.
I was hoping for it. Now I'm like, Chris, I need 450k. No, I know. Yeah. I got nothing.
Naderade 2019 says, cheers lads, thanks for the help. Oh, thanks very much, mate. It's all good. Brattle78 says, how many players are maximum from each team you should have post bye rounds? How many players maximum? Yeah, honestly, that is a myth. Post bye rounds, it does not matter at all. What matters is individual scoring, not how many you have in the one team, because it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, we've seen instances where Sydney have had 3 of the top 6 mids. Yeah. Basically, or 3 of the top 10. Like, it's been crazy.
Like, I'll have 4 not Gold Coast, GWS players, because I'll probably. Well, no, I won't have Whitfield now, but I'll have Williams.
Generally, the better sides will actually have more players do well because the scaling and the ratio of their points is a lot better.
Yeah.
GWS is one of those sides. So when they do well, like how many guys towed up and got 100? So many. And they kind of help each other out. So
well, you've got Josh Kelly, you've got Cornelio, you've got Taranto, you've got Jeremy Cameron, you've got Williams, you've got Whitfield.
Yep.
Like, all those guys are averaging over 100 plus. Yeah.
Huge.
So, yeah, I don't think there's any problem with it. Only after the bye, though. Before the bye, it is an issue. All right. So Magnitis said, lol. And Tomahawk26 said, had to trade in Naish instead of Clark in order to have 18 due to Stocker's injury. That changes things. But if you're going for overall...
Surely there's a better way.
There's just no one, man.
Naish.
There's no one playing. There's no playing rookie this week. There isn't. There just isn't a playing rookie. So that's the issue.
Jesus.
Everyone you're going to trade down this week's on the bye, pretty much.
Can you trade down and then go up to someone that's playing this week instead of Naish? Maybe. Surely.
Well, that's another. Yeah, it'd be 2 trades, but
yeah, I'd rather try and free up some cash and then upgrade if I can instead of bringing in Naish just to have a warm body on field. That's literally burning a trade just for.
That's so wise. He's like a miniature Buddha covered in hair. All right, and the last question here from Mega Batimus. Is Heaney going to come good, or should I look to dump him next week for someone else?
How many trades do you have is my question.
Yeah, I hate it. I can't stand the fact that I've still got Heaney because he's just annoyed me every week that I've seen him play. But
he's been annoying every round except for like 3.
He's only got 13 trades left.
3 rounds.
13. You got to hold him.
Yeah, you have to hold him.
I've got 18. I have to hold him.
I've got 19, and I have to hold him.
Yes. So
I'm spending so many trades elsewhere that he's still averaging like 90, isn't he? Yeah. Or close to. Like, he could easily still pick up and average top 6 forward for the rest of the year.
Well, I was hoping to actually trade him out over these buys, but when Mitchell got injured, it threw everything out.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I can't afford to do that, unfortunately. Secret 11 said Rotham over Naish, perhaps, maybe, but again, Rotham's only going to play one game.
Yeah,
he's out as soon as Hearn's back.
Not only that, he needs to play 2 rounds to pretty much make 125k profit.
Yeah.
So realistically, you need him to play 3 rounds to actually be a good option.
You probably don't need him for profit at this point. Again,
no, I know, but as in if
people you're trading in now, are you really trading them for cash gains?
But part of the benefit would be is that if he's playing, he's going to make 75k approximate this week. Yeah. Right. So if he plays 1 more, then it's 125, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, so even if he plays 2 and doesn't play again, you could actually luxury down and up to finish your side.
I already have Rotham, because again, stupid Vegas. But so for me, it would be great if he came in, and then I get 50k out of 1 weeker, and then worst case scenario is I can trade him out and get something out of him. So that's, for me, that's one benefit. But I just don't advise people getting it. I don't think it's a great decision to bring him in now.
Yeah, I still think he's
poor decision to trade him in with that before lockout. Well,
putting it this way, Rotham is either an extended injury or another injury away from actually getting solid games.
Yeah. All right. So he just said, and Mega Batimus said he just brought Rotham in 2 weeks ago for Drew. So that's unfortunate.
Oh, you know what's unfortunate, Chris? I don't know if you saw this one on Facebook.
Maybe not. Who knows?
Okay, hang on.
Let me know.
Let me bring it up. So this is
And
actually...
if you don't know, now you know.
This is actually quite funny. Okay, so it's on the poll. So Daniel Steen, the Steenster, said...
Steen's in here.
Yeah.
Steen's watching live.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I cracked up at this, Steen. My mate brought in Oscar McDonald instead of Oscar Baker.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with the big
and then they tag him in it.
He's injured at the moment.
Yeah, they brought
Oscar
in the wrong...
McDonald.
No, they brought in the... He wanted to bring in Baker, but he brought in the wrong Oscar. Anyway, so then they tag him in it and like, how many trades you got left? And he's like... He goes, pretty much, I hate you guys in non-colourful language.
I did see that.
And he said, I have 18 trades left. So imagine having 18 trades left and you stuffed up and brought in the wrong Oscar.
Unlucky.
No cash.
All right.
Unlucky.
Naderade 2019 says Cogs or Boke. That is a tough one.
That is actually
That
hard.
is a really tough one because they're pretty much similar price. I think maybe Boke's 8K more expensive.
What's the decider though? Really, it's how many midfield premiums you have versus how many forward premiums you have.
It's
and your buys.
Paying for overall, and if you're this week's not impacted, you don't need him. I'd go for Boke because then next week
they play the double. Yeah. I think
the trading Canelio, you're guaranteeing a 0.
If you have a lot of players playing this round, then I would then look to the future.
Yep.
Whereas if you have a lot of, say, you already have a lot of guys missing, round 14 or whatever.
Yeah.
It just depends on your structure. That's how I would split the hairs. It depends on how it suits you better.
Some of these are coin flips as well. Like I said, I made a post during the week that someone was throwing up between Sicily and Ryan. Now, mate, honestly,
coin flip.
Toss a coin, go with your gut. No one knows the answer to that question. They're both averaging around about the same. They're both got the same role.
You may as well literally toss that coin and just close your eyes and then just make your pick anyway. It doesn't matter.
Do these ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it doesn't like that sort of decision. Unfortunately, it's probably side dependent.
Yeah. I will say Ryan has probably shown a little more higher ceiling this year. However, only a smidge, you know. But Sicily can still go on a tear.
He hasn't, and this is the thing, he hasn't yet.
No, not really.
Like
a couple games where he's gone like...
I know.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for that Sicily 140s coming in. The other thing as well is that Boke's probably going to hurt you more. So Canelio's only in 14% of sides, which is one of the reasons why you want him in.
Yeah.
But Boke's in a lot of teams because he's the number 1 forward right now. He's in a lot of teams. So when he goes big, he's going to hurt you. When Canelio goes big, like last week, 207 didn't really hurt many people.
No, I didn't have him.
I didn't have
anyone
I still went up. I was playing against.
I didn't have him, and I still went up.
How would you feel if you were one of those guys that traded him out?
You'd be so the week of, like the week of that. Oh.
I wonder if I know Pistol had Canelio, but I'm pretty sure he traded him as well.
Ooh.
So, shout out to Pistol, Dr. Coach.
I don't know, just premiums when if it's someone that's annoying you, but if you look at their talent and what they can do and what they have done, you kind of just have to suck it up, surely.
Fair enough. Now, Braddles78 just said, why doesn't Haitley get a game? Is it worth gambling a downgrade? No, it's not worth... I'm in the same boat again. So this is another Vegas trade that I did.
Via 2 midfielders being injured for GWS, I would not.
Here's the issue with Haitley is that literally Leon Cameron came out and said he's not playing because he's a first-year player, and they're in a position where they've had these guys in their system like Isaac Cumming for 3 years that haven't been able to get a game because they've had so many high picks. So they've had so many good players at GWS that the youth aren't getting games.
So do you think
Haitley comes in and tears it up? That doesn't matter because there's still guys ahead of him in the pecking order.
Right.
That's it.
I think that's not a bad system though. Apart from it sucks. Sucks
for
us.
Yeah, it sucks for super coaches.
Well, hang on, but if he gets through this whole year without it, he could be one of our first pick next year, possibly.
Nah, but I think the
one
way...
game though?
Nah.
One game? Surely
he's played
not.
2 games.
Oh yeah, so maybe we'll go up.
No, he will. He will definitely be higher. He'll be like 350 grand. Can't pick him.
But here's the thing. I think that is a good thing as far as a strategy from GWS is that they're actually now, because people were leaving because they weren't getting games. So they're actually rewarding these guys, being like, you've paid your due, you know our systems, you can do your role.
Yeah.
And they're rewarding with games, so that way they might actually stick around. Otherwise, they go, I'm not getting opportunity. Bye bye, catch you later, and I'm going somewhere else.
True.
So I think that's probably a good strategy. Saying, look, mate, you're a first year player. You don't know pain yet.
And if you don't know,
you don't know pain.
Yeah, true. Kato23 said Biggie, and yes, that was a Biggie reference. So thank you very much.
Right.
Nathan Dev again says back again after working some trades out. Was going to hold Whitfield, but that just won't work. So I'll be going Stewart, which saves me a trade on Scott. I don't mind the Stewart trade.
Jeez, you must be loaded next week.
So the one thing that's turned me off Stewart is the fact that he's averaged 104.5 without Tui and 98 with Tui. So I imagine Tui's playing for the rest of the year, obviously. So I can imagine him averaging less. Now, that's not massive. I mean, he's still going to average around about 100 for a defender, which is great, but you're just not getting all of those good scores that he got at the start of the year where he went 120, I think, 3 games in a row.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think if you have a better, like, depending on your buy structure, though, I'd be going Ryan or Sicily.
It does depend on your buy structure. Yeah.
Oh,
Or Lloyd. I mean, I'd rather Lloyd than,
I'd rather Lloyd than anyone.
Yeah. But so I don't mind Stewart, and I think he's a good in. But yeah, that's the one thing you just got to be wary of. When
we haven't really mentioned, though, Hearn. What were you doing with Hearn if you have him? Compared to Whitfield?
Oh, you got to hold.
I think you hold
him.
Well.
You got to hold, regardless.
I think you hold him. Even for this week, you'll hear more news throughout next week as to how he's travelling.
It was it's got to be planned. Like, I know he's a little bit tight his hamstring, but he hasn't done it.
It's only one. Essentially, you can't look at it like he's out for 2 rounds because everyone you bring in anyway is still missing a round. So you kind of take it this week and then assess it. If it comes out next week that maybe it's worse than first thought and he might be out for a couple more, then guess what? You can then trade to Sicily and Ryan. Happy days.
The other thing is that because of the injury at this time, you're in a massive advantage now because not many people are going to have Hearn anymore. People aren't going to be able to afford him in round 14, whereas they were looking forward to him playing this week.
That is actually a good option. That's a good point,
dropping
Chris.
Cash, and then they can get him after his bye.
It's going to put people off like Chris. I might even have a full defensive complement by 100%. That point.
Yeah. So Hearn's got to be a very unique player for the rest of the year because of it. Because of this injury at this time. So you definitely want to hold Hearn. 100%.
Yeah. Good call, Chris.
You're welcome. All right. Tomahawk says, did Whitfield, Wilkie, and Hayes to Sicily, Cunnington, and Gardner? Decent trades. All valid. So I've also traded Wilkie this week.
It's a cunning trade.
It is a cunning trade. Nathan says, after trades needed to use... What? After trades needed to use to get to... I should start wearing my glasses, really. So I can read this screen properly.
Mate, you're looking like a bobblehead the way you're getting up there.
No. Sorry, mate. After trades needed to use to get to full team, I'll have to full premium 9 at the end. So no, but no Kelly. Well, you could. I mean, I'll have 9 at the end, but you could probably do a double grant down and get to Kelly, and then have 8. 8's still a really good number to have full premium.
Well, look, to be honest, 8 or 9 at the end is still a good compliment. Whatever gets you ahead.
Well, that was really good. You've been like on the edge all night.
I've been quite
biding
controlled.
your time. Biding your time.
Quite controlled.
You came there eventually.
It's because I'm wearing the Queensland AFL jumper.
Yeah. Okay. So Carlito says to that comment, sounds like you're definitely not full premium then. Maybe. Who knows? Hold Stocker or trade? Trade. Trade Stocker. If he's injured, I wouldn't even wait about a timeline because you're really only absolute maximum having him for next week. Get rid of him and get some cash out of him now.
Only if you can do something good with it.
Yeah.
But do we even know how long he's out for though?
Does it matter?
No, not
He'll
really.
come back to the VFL. No way he plays in the ones as comes back in. No chance.
You're really harsh, Chris.
He's
210k. He's only made 83.
Well, you can't hold him though.
Break even to 0. Well, it depends on what his injury is.
I wouldn't hold him. I'd get rid of him. Just get cash in.
If you have bigger issues, I'd wait the week and see if he plays during next week whereby the people are actually quite crappy. Otherwise, I'd move him on then.
Yeah.
It depends on his injury. I'm trying to look at it now, but I think it's injury driven. Oh, there you go. Webpage not available. Awesome. The webpage must be run by GWS. Because the injury information is not there, Chris.
I wouldn't be. I just wouldn't do it. I don't think Stocker's going to be in the new coach's plans. Secret 11 said on the SC Elites pod, they talked about a guy who traded in Jay Kelly from Adelaide, and they did. And he actually went well this week. I think he had 107 or something like that. But yeah.
But how do you stuff that up? They're running on the names.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 more? Where are we at to?
Someone says, I'm bringing in Ryan and Sicily next week. So am I.
Yeah, I'm looking that way too.
And I have 600k going into next week. Good choice.
I might even wait on Sick Dog for 1 more week. I think his break even's like 96. I don't think he's going to go up huge.
No, well, you can if you really want to, but I've already got him in because he's 490. I'm not gonna flirt with that. If he goes 140, he's now 520. It's 30k. So I just figured don't even just get it.
Get it.
Mega Badamus says, okay, he's just replying to one earlier from Stocker. Hold unless trading him is going to net you 18 players this week. Yeah, it's a good advice as well.
That's pretty much, that's it. You need bodies on field and you need cash to upgrade. If it doesn't suit those 2 needs, then don't do it.
Doggo FC says, can trade in Dunkley or a mid primo out of Cogs, Pendles, or Bont. Have 20 playing this week. Ooh.
Cogs, Pendles, or Bont?
I think Dunkley's the one that hurts you the most, so I'd probably say Dunkley.
And then Bont. I think you know who they play first out of the buys though.
You can wait for Bont for 2 rounds.
Do you know who Dogs play next week?
Who?
Carlton. Bontempelli's going 150.
He's got a 133 break even.
Who?
Though. Bont.
Yeah.
So even if he goes big, he's not going up too much.
Okay.
That's why I'm waiting until round 14. I won't get him next week.
Fair call.
Interesting. I will probably go Dunkley, then Cogs. Dunkley, Pendles, then Cogs. Pendles, I think, is going to go massive. All right. Was there any questions on Facebook or Twitter?
No, it's just all the poll stuff, Chris.
Fair enough.
And I figured most people have the same questions as far as the premiums go. So
well, that's going to round us out for the podcast this week. Oh, we got one last question. Whitfield and Stocker for Gardner and which primo? Let's close that up. Which primo in any position? Who do I get? Whitfield and Stocker.
Kelly. Josh Kelly then.
Well, yeah, Josh Kelly's the number one. But
anybody.
Who do you have? Because that's an impossible question without knowing who you have.
That's okay. Send us a message through Twitter or Facebook. Hit us up. Still do hit us up throughout tomorrow and whatever. I'll probably be busy studying, but I may take a little break and reply to a couple of you. Otherwise, Chris here.
I will be.
My man will be doing the solid. So
I will be doing it online.
Yes. Look, thank you very much. This was probably a little bit drawn out as far as questions and that kind of thing, but
it's the right time of year.
I think it's the right time of year to actually do the Q&A more so as a style instead of going through team reveal. We're a bit later this week, so we could talk about what we liked about the game. However, it's not going to actually impact on your decisions as much as this will.
Yep.
So we've got all the information on hand. We've looked at the team announcements. Basically, Rotham's the only one that might look like coming in based off the list. So you can kind of make some arrangements around that. However, as Chris has advised, probably make your plans away from Rotham. So,
Tomahawk following us. Thank you very much, mate. Welcome to the team.
Got exams tomorrow. Tommy Hawks. On here, got exams tomorrow by the looks of it. So, unlucky.
All right, guys. Well, that wraps us up. Thank you very much. Follow us on all our socials.
Peace
and
out.
We'll catch you next time.
Thank you. # bless your bows.